What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into the Jets Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we got three topics I want to discuss. First being the Breece Hall trade rumors and why they could pick up if the Jets lose Monday night to the Dolphins. Then Harrison Phillips, he was talking to the media yesterday, gave some good quotes on Aaron Glenn and just the whole process this Jets group is going through. And then also on the back half, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Justin Simmons. Does it make sense for the Jets to sign those safeties? We'll talk about it on today's show. But if you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. Our bosses challenged us here right before we started filming to pick up 20 new subscribers. So if you guys are new here, have not hit that subscribe button just yet, change that and hit that subscribe button today and help me avoid an awkward meeting with my bosses. So hit that sub button if you guys want more Jets content in your life. So I want to start off today's show talking about Breece Hall. And I will say this, first off, I don't expect him to get traded during the season. I think it is still incredibly unlikely, but I do think there's an avenue to where the Jets would at least be taking calls, and that starts with this Monday night game against Miami Dolphins. This is a must-win game for the Jets. They should win this game, even though you're on the road playing a divisional opponent. You got to believe you're the better football team. You got to believe that your process and just your, chemistry and just the culture is better in New York with the Jets than it is with the Dolphins. But if you lose that game to Miami and you drop the 0-4, I could see the Breece Hall trade rumors starting to pick up. And I'll say this, if you do drop the 0-4 and a team calls you and they offer a third-round pick, I think you almost have to take it. And that is no slight to Breece Hall. It's just a value you would be getting from him. If you could somehow get a third-round pick for a guy who you spent a second-round pick on, already used up most of his rookie deal, that's just good value for the Jets. And plus, you have some good running backs behind him. And Breece Hall this year, it's been up and down. Like preseason, I thought he didn't really run too well. I thought he was, missing his blocks. I thought he just, didn't really have that same pop that he had during his first couple of seasons. But then against the Steelers, he was fantastic. Had one of the highest rushing yards over expected that week, 19 carries, 107 yards. But the last 2 weeks, he's been a no-show. 10 carries against the Bills, going for 29 yards, 9 carries against the Bucs, only going for 21 yards. So it's been an up and down, season for Breece Hall, obviously. And now maybe saying, well, why would the Jets want to even move off Breece Hall? Well, I think they would have some interest there because of the running backs you have behind them. Like Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. It wouldn't force like Braylon Allen to take on like a true bell cow, workhorse load. Yes, you would still be probably getting 75, 80% of the snaps if Breece were to be traded, but you still have a great third running back in Isaiah Davis, who I'm sure the Jets are going to want to get him out there on the football field more. They like what they've seen from him. So I could see a lot of teams calling about Breece Hall potentially, and the number one team, I think it would have to be the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs' offense has obviously been, not up to par to their standards so far this season. They can't run the football. They're not getting good production out of Isaiah Pacheco or Kareem Hunt. And with them still having Super Bowl aspirations, maybe they just say, screw it. Hey, we'll overpay for a guy. We'll go toss the Jets a third, fourth-round pick for Breece Hall. So they're number one. Also look up for the Chicago Bears. DeAndre Swift having a down year. They don't really love the running backs they have behind them. They have a guy like Kyle Monangai, but still they would want more talent in that room. And the Dallas Cowboys, they've been connected to Breece Hall a lot. Now, they like what they have in Javonte Williams, but if they want to add more juice to that running back room, could see them being an option. And same with the Chargers. Just losing Najee Harris for the year. Yes, they spent a first-round pick on Amari and Hampton, but maybe they could be willing to get a little aggressive after their 3-0 start. And then I'm still going to include the Washington Commanders here. They got a quarterback on the rookie deal. They view this as a Super Bowl window year, so maybe they could, same thing as like all of these teams, just be like, hey, let's try to take advantage. Let's go trade for a good player in Breece Hall. So I'll ask you guys this. You guys make the call for me. Would you trade Breece Hall for a fourth-round pick? Only if the Jets lose on Monday would be the only way I would consider it. But if you win, you got to try to, revitalize the season and get back, in that playoff, in the hunt graphic. But you guys let me know. Would you trade Breece Hall for a fourth-round pick? T for trade, P for pass. All right, let's talk about what Harrison Phillips had to say to the media yesterday. He gave some cool quotes just talking about the Jets' process and where they are in this, long rebuild under the Aaron Glenn era. But this is what he had to say on the process, saying, the secret is there isn't a secret. You just buy into the process. I wish it was a secret sauce. I wish it was. A coach gave us a motivational speech, or we stayed after and ran gassers, or we had player-led meetings. No, you just lean into the process. AG has done a fantastic job of the culture that he is establishing and building here. There's just a catch-up that needs to happen. And I'll tell you what, the way these players and the way the coaches are talking, it doesn't feel like the Jets are 0-3. Because most other 0-3 teams right now, all the fans, all the players, all the coaches, they're all down in the dumps saying this year's a throwaway. But it doesn't feel like that for the New York Jets. And I think that is credit to Aaron Glenn. And that's the impact he has made, where he has these players, buying into the process. They know how they can get better every single day. And Harrison Phillips, like coming from a winning organization, a great culture with the Vikings, the fact that he is seeing it with Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets, I think is an incredibly positive sign, not just for the rest of this year, but for years after. Like the Jets will have the eighth most money to spend in free agency next season. If other players who are hitting free agency, even though if the Jets only win like 5, 6, 7 games this upcoming year, they could view what Aaron Glenn is building and being like, hey, I want to get in on that early. I want to go help him out and just add more talent to that roster. So I think there's Aaron Glenn and the culture he's building. Yes, it hasn't resulted in wins so far, but it is still huge just for this franchise moving forward. Now, Harrison Phillips also talked about the tackling issue, and because clearly it's been a problem so far this season, saying, I think our angles were really off. Part of tackling is actually being paralleled with trust. I need to trust my teammates, need to trust that the ball is going to get turned back and the edge player is going to get the ball turned back into us, in which case you can take more aggressive angles. And, I also think with the Jets having a lot of moving parts defensively, with a lot of injuries, with, bringing in 2 defensive tackles right before the season started, this is a process. They are going to get better every single week. And I will say it is unfortunate with the injuries to the linebacker position, like losing Quincy Williams, McCurry Ball. Like those are major, major blows. So those obviously are unfortunate, but I think this defense will still get better. Like you have a great, great opportunity this Monday night. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike McDaniel, everybody calls him an offensive genius still. You got a chance to prove yourself Monday night. And, that side of the football, that defense, there's too much talent to be as bad as they have been. So I'll ask you guys this. What say you? Do you have faith in the Jets defense? Give me a Y for yes or give me an N for no down below in the comment section. You guys let me know how you're feeling. Y for yes, N for no. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. All right, let's talk about it. Should the Jets sign another safety? Now, a lot of people in the comment section on Twitter are all in on the Jets bringing another guy, whether that be Justin Simmons or C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Now, we're going to start off here with Justin Simmons. Now, multiple All-Pro selections. He has just been consistent at the safety spot since 2017. He's an extremely versatile safety. He would also be a great mentor for some of these younger guys like a Malachi Moore. Like Malachi Moore, a perfect safety for him to learn from, is a guy like Simmons, very instinctual. Obviously plays the position really well. He knows the ins and outs of, most NFL offenses. So I think he would bring some great value, not only on the field, but off the field for these younger guys like Malachi Moore. Now, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, I know a lot of fans, want to bring him in, and I understand. Like, he has played good football in the past. Like, he's a Super Bowl champion. He was a big part of that Eagles defense. He has that connection already with Aaron Glenn, dating back to his time with the Saints and the Lions. But personally, for me, I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Like, if the Jets were maybe a more well-established culture and more well-established organization and they needed a piece to get them over the top, then, yeah, I would be willing to take the risk on C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But you're trying to build a culture here, and C.J.'s just not really a culture guy. Now, maybe Aaron Glenn, with the connection he has with them, he could reel him in. He could get the best version of him. That's definitely on the table. But also, I just want them to let Malachi Moore develop more. Like, he needs reps. He needs more action out there on the playing field. And if you would bring in another veteran safety, that would just cut his reps and his snaps, damn near in half. So I would just rather have them turn that over to Malachi Moore. We don't need to see Tony Adams anymore, that's for sure. So just let the rookie out of Alabama get some more run. But if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me with the Go Jets down below in the comments section. We appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, Go Jets.